So whenever someone asks me, what is the easiest unit to score more marks? I say it is literary theory. Why so? We get a lot of questions from the section. We get a lot of direct questions from the section, as well as the portion is limited when compared with British literature. Here we are. Welcome to Dharani's Net Classroom. So today in this session, we are starting with a new series called Lit Theory Express, where I explain theories in an easy and quick manner. So let's get started with Russian formalism. Russian formalism, as the name suggests, it is in Russia and it focuses more on the form of the poem. Yeah, this school of literary criticism in Russia has started in the 1910s and has ended in the 1930s. And it emerged from three main groups: Moscow Linguistic Circle, Prague Linguistic Circle, and the Opochas group, which is founded by Viktor Sklavsky. And Russian formalism advocates the close reading concerning the form of the poem. That is, its main point is focusing on the structure of the poem and not the meaning and not the historical background. Yes, and it supports a scientific method in the close reading of the language of poetry. Here are the important contributors of Russian formalism: Viktor Sklavsky, Roman Jakobson, Vladimir Prok, and Mikhail Bakhtin. Though Mikhail Bakhtin has heavily criticized this theory, we have included him in this list. So here is one question. Viktor Sklavsky's name is associated with, and the answer we know, it is Russian formalism. So you should know the theories and the contributors very clearly. So here is Viktor Sklavsky. Viktor Sklavsky is the one who has founded the Opoyas group, which is the Society for the Study of Poetic Language. And the important work of him is Art as a Technique or Device, which is published in 1917. The major concepts are defamiliarization, fabula, and scusit. So let's see what defamiliarization means. Defamiliarization. Split the word. It is all about not making something familiar. Yeah. So defamiliarization is an artistic technique of presenting something common in an unfamiliar way. And Viktor Sklavsky says that this is what distinguishes an ordinary language from poetic language. That is, when a poet writes about the most ordinary dosa, we eat dosa every day, but then he sees and he writes in a way that makes us excited to read about it. So that should be something unique. That should present a different point of view. That should be unfamiliar. That should present an unfamiliar way of looking at a familiar thing. And that is what is the artistic technique called defamiliarization. And then we have this fabula and scusit. Fabula and scusit. Fabula means story, scusit means plot. Let me tell with a simple example. For example, you are having a story in your head. You want to make it as a movie. So when you have something in your head, it is like the birth till death of Emilia. That is how it is in your head. But then when you present it, you try to make it more interesting. You show the murder of Emilia, and then the journalists come in, and then they discover the past of her, and we get those flashback things. Yeah, like in Scuset, the story is organized in some way. Yeah. So that is the difference between fabula and scuset. When a story or a fabula is organized in some way, it becomes a plot. Yes. So a fabula is just a raw material, it's just a thematic content. But then SKUSET is the way in which the story is narrated, the way in which it is organized. Yeah? Hope you understand it. If not, revisit these slides and listen to them again. And then we have Roman Jakobson. He is a pioneer of structural linguistics and he has influenced Noam Chomsky too. The important works of Roman Jakobson are Thesis on Language and Fundamentals of Language. And his main concept is dealing with metaphor and metonymy. Yes. Try to understand the difference between these two words. Metaphor is forming associations based on similarity. Yeah. It is more like simile. The car crawled like a beetle. She is like a lion. Yeah. There we are presenting some similarity between two things. That is what we call as a metaphor. But then what is metonymy? It shows the closeness between things. Using crown for a king. How these two words are interlinked with each other. Yeah. Hopefully you understand the difference between metaphor and metonymy. Metaphor shows the similarity between things and metonymy deals with the closeness. And we have Vladimir Prop. And he is one of my favorites. Yeah. His major work is Morphology of the Folktale, which is written in 1928. And then he has dissected like 100 Russian fairy tales and has come up with 31 functions and 7 roles that are present in almost all fairy tales. And the 7 roles are the villain, the hero, the false hero, the princess or prize, the helper, the dispatcher, and the donor. Hopefully, we can expect some questions from this. Yeah. Now moving on to Mikhail Bakhtin. Mikhail Bakhtin. He is the one from whom we can always expect too many questions, especially from his important works. Yeah. So learn them by heart. So the important works are Freudianism, a Marxist critic, Rabelais and his world, the dialogic imagination, which is published in 1975 and it contains 4 essays. Here, the title of these essays are important because it was once asked in NET. So the essays are Epic and Novel, from the prehistory of novelistic discourse, the forms of time and of the chronotype in the novel. And the fourth one is the discourse in the novel. See them once, try to get it in your head. So here we have a question. Which of the two following essays are from Mikhail Bakhtin's The Dialogic Imagination 4 essays? And the answer is discourse in the novel and forms of time and the chronotype in the novel. So here we have the concepts of Mikhail Bakhtin. The first one is heteroglossia. Heteroglossia. Now divide the word. Hetero means different. Glossia means tongue or language. That is the coexistence of distinct linguistic varieties, styles of discourses, or point of views within a single language. Yeah? Let me explain it in simple terms. For example, when I'm recording a YouTube video, the type of language I use would be different from what I use when I talk with a friend. The way I talk with my sister or my best friend would be different from when I talk with my teachers. So that is what we call as heteroglossia, the variedness of language. Yeah. Here, Mikhail Bakhtin himself has given an example of an illiterate peasant who would use different varieties of the same language while praying, while talking with his family, or while singing. And then we have another term called as polyphony. Polyphony is more like heteroglossia. But then the difference is that in heteroglossia, we have varied linguistic varieties. Yes? But then in polyphony, we have different point of views and voices. So that is the only difference here. In heteroglossia, we have distinct linguistic varieties, the variedness of language. Here in polyphony, we have different voices and different point of views. Carnivalesque or carnival. So carnivalesque, it means how popular humor subverts official authority. In classical, medieval, and Renaissance texts and culture. So, for example, here in Renaissance or medieval or classical text, we will have scenes that totally change the mood. Yeah. For example, the use of spells and enchantments in Midsummer Night's Dream. In that, it creates the mood for the lovers. Though that is not really possible in normal life kind of situation. So the carnivalesque or the festive kind of mood that is created is what Mikhail Bakhtin calls as carnivalesque. Okay. And then dialogism. Dialogism. It is more about the dialogue between either the author and the reader or two characters in the same text. And then based on the context, we will have the meaning. Hope you understand. Based on the context, we will get the meaning. And then we have chronotype. Chronotype is all about how time and space is represented in language and discourse. And we can find this term chronotype in the essay 19, in the essay Forms of Time and of Chronotype in the novel, which is published in 1937. So here we have a question. Which of the following are applicable to the word carnival? It became important through the work of Russian theorist Mikhail Bakhtin. That's true. It means the way in which popular humor subverts official authority in classical, medieval, and Renaissance texts and culture. That's true too. It overturns the established hierarchy and sets up a popular and democratic counterculture. It is also true. So the answer is A, B, and C. We have one last question before we end this section. Which among the following are written by Mikhail Bakhtin? And the answer is Freudianism and Rabelais and his world. So with this, I'm ending this session. Hopefully, I will come up with many more useful videos in near future. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Thank you so much.